go ahead and do that replay one more time. One, and we are live. Okay, so I don't know how long this live is going to be. This may be short, it may be long, but we are dual-living today on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So I'm going to be facing this way. Instagram, sorry that I'm looking away from the camera. But as you're hopping on, if you're watching the replay, make sure you type in hashtag replay in the comments so I can know that you tuned in on whatever platform you're tuning in from. And then obviously, if you're joining me live, say hello. Let's talk about the mental pieces of a launch. I just did a private training in Natasha Ho's 6-Figure Inner Circle community. I did a free training, and what we did a private training, and what we talked about were how to make money at each phase of a launch. And one of the biggest pieces that we talked about was the mentality, the mental piece of a launch, and what that actually does to your results, what that does to your results, how that affects the way you show up, your visibility, and how it affects your sales, right? And this is maybe something that's not talked about enough because no one wants to admit to a failed launch. It happens to everyone. And, you know, me and Natasha were having a very, very like serious, straight up conversation about, you know, what happens, right? What happens when you're going through something like this? And let me just make sure, let me just charge my laptop because it just gave me a notification that wasn't plugged in. Give me 1 second, guys. A lot of people will own up to it. Not enough people talk about it, but I want to talk about what actually happens when your launch is not going as planned, and what are some things that you can do to avoid it. Okay, so before we get started, for those of you guys who do not know me, I'm Chrissy Ferreira, known as the Authority Coach, but I'm a launch consultant, and I have coaches, consultants, and experts work with me when they're ready to create more demand, more visibility around their offer, and I do that using launch strategy. And so one of the things that I see most often when people have had failed launches in the past is that when they actually opened up the doors to an offer, it didn't go as planned. You put together this offer for weeks, you've been prepping behind the scenes, whether it was a course, a group program, a one-on-one, whatever it may be, an event, and you open the doors and people are like, they seem kind of excited about it, but no one's buying, right? Or maybe you sold 1 or 2 spots and you've got 7, 8, 9 more to sell. And you're not really sure what you did wrong, right? You're like, I have this wonderful offer. This is what people want. And I've been showing up. And what happens is then we start to have like that doubt, or the stress and anxiety starts to kick in, and we start to feel almost resentment towards the offer. And we start to question, damn, did I launch this too soon? Was there something else I could have done? We start feeling resentment towards the offer, questioning, is this even a good offer? Should I have tweaked it in a different way? But now you're already in it and you've committed, and you just kind of go through the process. So then you go through the motions, and what happens when a launch is not going as planned in the middle of a live launch? You, like I said, you feel resentment, but what actually happens? You stop showing up at the same level. Your energy isn't there. You find excuses not to show up. So for example, let's say you were going to go live every day. Mentally, you're starting to feel sick now, right? And, or maybe your hair doesn't look right, or you find things to do around the house, or, you know, just you find reasons not to show up, or you're just not in at the same level. When you show up on that live, you're not there, right? You're not at the same energy level. You're not as excited because you no longer believe in this offer because it's not selling. And so you're just going through the motions of the launch, posting the content. Maybe you had 5 posts that you were going to push out, and now you're starting to doubt the content. Maybe I should tweak this. Maybe I should tweak this. Maybe I should say things differently, right? And you post maybe once a day because all the other 4 posts you start questioning. And the launch is just not going as planned. Then you close the doors and you're like, crap, this did not go as planned. And then what happens in the post-launch phase? You disappear because nothing went as planned. You're stressed out. You feel like you put in all that work for nothing. You spent all that money on the promotional stuff for nothing. Maybe you spent money on ads. Maybe you paid a designer or someone to build out your funnel and automations or your website, your landing pages, and you're just like, that was money down the toilet and I didn't make as much money as I had hoped. Raise your hand if you've been there. Okay, I've been there. I've been there. I've been there. I have clients who've been there. You may be watching this. You may have recently experienced this, or maybe you're experiencing this right now because you're in the middle of a launch. I get it. Okay. But not enough people talk about this, and no one wants to own up to a failed launch, right? A failed launch is basically just it didn't go as planned. You didn't sell as many spots, or you didn't fill it the way that you wanted to. You didn't make as much money as you wanted to. But the reason that is, right, is that a lot of people just jump into a launch. This is what I see for a lot of my clients. They jump into a launch a little bit too soon, or they didn't do enough in the pre-launch phase. The pre-launch phase is where the money is at. This is where the magic is at. This is something I talk about constantly, is that the pre-launch phase is the most important part of any launch process. Why? Because this is where you can sell out spots before you open up the door. This is where you know for sure, do you have a ready to buy audience? This is where you can make tweaks to your offer or your messaging before you even open the door. This is where you can test things. This is where you prep to make sure that you have the content done. Everything is preset before you open the doors. Because what I want to see happen for you is I want to see you enjoy your launch. When you open the doors, to be excited, to know 100% in your heart that this offer is great. This is wanted. This is needed by my ideal client. And to sell those spots and to enjoy the process from the moment you open the door to the moment you close, and then not feeling completely burnt out at the end. That way you can keep making money even after your launch, because a business should not just be making money when you open the doors to a launch. You should be making money in the pre-launch, in the live launch, and the post-launch phase. You should be bringing cash flow at all phases of your business. You shouldn't have to wait 6 weeks till you open the door and then wait another 6 weeks until you open the door to your program. Again, that is not a sustainable cycle, because we get sick, things happen in our personal lives where dates have to get moved around. I have a client and she launches about every 6 weeks is our strategy that we do for her. She either does a masterclass or a workshop that we promote, and then she ends up selling out her program to fill a certain program. She flip-flops between different programs, and she fills spots of those programs at the masterclass, and then she opens the doors publicly, and then she promotes the masterclass again. It works really, really well for her. And she has other offers that she sells in the pre-launch phase, in the live launch phase, and when she's not doing the masterclass. She's making money at every phase of her launch. But recently, she had a family member who became very sick. And so things happen in life. And so we had to create a new strategy for her this summer, because she knows over the next 3 months, she's not going to be able to host the master classes and workshops at the same level that she did before. It's not gonna be there. So we had to create something new for her. Now, imagine if she hadn't been making money, like she had no strategy before to make money in the pre-launch phase, and she was just waiting till she did her next masterclass. There are strategies in place that she can make money at all times and doesn't just have to rely on the strategy of selling spots at her masterclass, right? This is why I focus so much on the pre-launch phase, is because I want to make sure that you are prepped. You are prepped to make money at each phase of your business. And I want to make sure that before you open the doors to your offer, that you have a warm and ready to buy audience. And then if people aren't buying, then you know to tweak your offer before you even open the doors, right? So let's talk about this mentality piece of it again. So like I said, it is a vicious cycle when you are going through the phases of a launch and you're doubting, should I have even opened the doors to this? Should I have prepped a little bit more? Should I have tried to create this for a different ideal audience? Should I have priced this higher? Should I have priced this lower? You should be having these doubts in the live launch. These are the things that you should be asking yourself in the pre-launch phase. And this is why I focus on it so much, because like I said, you start to resent the offer. I want you to be so excited. And I want you to also make self-care a priority, not just from when you close the doors, but during the actual launch phase itself. I love when my clients are telling me that they're taking the day off in the middle of a launch. Some of them take vacations in the middle of a launch, just because when you're well rested, well taken care of, and you do the things you enjoy, because self-care isn't just about bubble baths and pedicures and stuff. Whatever fills your cup, whatever makes you happy, right, is self-care. So like for me, that's working out, right? When I'm working out, I'm taking care of myself. That is self-care for me because I listen to my podcast, listen to my audiobooks, and I'm just a happier person when I work out throughout the week, right? Or shopping is my love language. And let me know in the comments if shopping is your love language, okay? But I will usually go shopping. I saw somebody comment in the comments. Well, let me finish what I'm saying and then I'll comment back. But shopping is my love language. So I'll usually go shopping for myself in the middle of a launch, buy myself a new top or dress or shoes or something just to treat myself even before I had a win. Like, why do we wait to treat ourselves like till we have a win? Can I get an amen? We should treat ourselves no matter what because we deserve it, not just when we had a win. Sometimes we need to treat ourselves even when we have a failure because we need that little pick me up. Okay. Jennifer says on Instagram, oh, hi, Diana. Thank you. I don't have a product to launch yet. This is great information when I get to that point. Well, good luck. And Jennifer, let me know what type of business you have. Do you sell, are you looking to sell products, like digital products or like physical products? So a lot of things that I teach on here is all about either digital products or services because I work with a lot of online business owners that are providing some type of service. So like done for you consulting or done for you consulting, some type of like expert that sells like courses, programs. Those are the types of clients I tend to work with, but you can always DM me if you have other questions. But yeah, the mental state is really important, and I think it's great to be able to have people that you can check in with too, whether it's a coach or someone like myself or having a community of other people. When you're setting yourself up for a launch, make sure you surround yourself with people that are in your network that you can lean on, that you say, oh, this week's been kind of rough. I haven't had as many people sign up. Sometimes you need that community of women in your circle to keep you going because I'm a launch consultant and I know launching isn't easy, right? I help you with strategies to create more ease, but I'll be honest with you, sometimes it cannot feel easy, right? Because we've got personal things going on in our lives. But it's not just during launches that this happens. This happens through anything that we're doing in our business, right? And so that's why it's great to have people in our circles that we can lean on, that we can chat with, whether it's a coach or a biz bestie or a friend or a spouse, to let them know what you've got going on. Let them know, I've got this launch coming up and this is my goal and I'm going to check in with you to let you know how I'm doing. And that way you let them know I'm going to be checking in with you, or can you check in with me to let me to see how I'm doing. Another thing too is like I like to set boundaries during the middle of a launch. So for example, I was just talking about this in Natasha Ho's community where I'll say no to certain things in the middle of a live launch. If I know I'm opening the doors and I want to be fully present, I'll say no extra trainings, maybe decrease my workload, right? Like, don't put so much on your plate. If you want to decrease some of the stress and anxiety or whatever around the launch, you got to be intentional with it, right? So this is just something I wanted to bring to light with you guys today. This wasn't about necessarily like sharing a ton of tips and a ton of strategies. I just wanted to bring to light that this happens, right? Sometimes doing a launch, there's some stuff that kicks in, but this is why I focus so much on the pre-launch phase, because the more prepped you are in the pre-launch, the more you're setting yourself up for success when you actually open the doors to it. So let me know if you guys have any more questions. We're going to be covering some of this, especially the pre-launch phase at the In Demand Powerhouse Masterclass next Wednesday. We'd love for you guys to join. We're going to be going live at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for the first time in a long time, this is going to be a free masterclass. So you guys better jump on it now. All right, guys, I'll chat with you soon.